Bro, this is crazy. Shannon Sharpe sued $50 million. 50, 50, 50, 50, $50 million sued. Now, these are all allegations. From what I've seen, from what I've heard, I just listened to a phone call that the girl, she called him and was like, going back and forth with him, was recording it. And he said something about, yada, 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 I'm gonna choke you. I'll play it for you guys towards the latter half of this video. I'll play it. But it does kind of seem like, once again, these are allegations. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if it's fake. I don't know what's going on. These are allegations that I'm reporting on. But it does kind of seem like you have certain types of women who are looking for situations that they could potentially use to monetize off of. I'm not saying that's the case in every situation. I'm not saying that's the case for every woman. There's a lot of women with very pure intentions. But on the flip side, there's also some women who are trying to get a bag, who are trying to come up, who are trying to get a little check. And this is not a little check. This is a big check. Now, like I said, these are allegations. I'm not trying to minimize anybody in this case. Let's get into the story. Let's get into the details. But real quick, I'm just thinking, if God did not open that door, I want no parts of it. If God did not open that door, I want no parts of it. Because if God did not open it, that is not what is for me. I'm not ready to walk into that blessing. And if I walk into that quote unquote blessing and God did not open that door, then it is not a blessing at all. Because if it's going to end in destruction, how could you call it a blessing? I was not ready for that. I was not prepared for that. I do not want anything that God does not have for me already in place. I'm just going to say that. I'm not trying to put blame or guilt on any one side because I don't know the full story yet, but that's just something that was on my heart. Anyway, let's get to it. I'm not a lawyer, but let's break it down.
But Shannon Sharpe is being sued for $50 million in a lawsuit that accuses him of a number of things. And I read the 14-page complaint, so let me tell you exactly what Jane Doe is alleging Shannon Sharpe did. Now, the lawsuit was filed by attorney Tony Busby, who we know well, on behalf of his...
Bro, Tony Busby out here getting all these lawsuits. Is that not a little bit suspicious, though, that everyone's going to Tony Busby to file these lawsuits? Once again, I'm not trying to minimize any of the potential victims here, but it just is very interesting that this is the dude who has all these high profile lawsuits at the moment.
Of his Jane Doe client. The suit says that Jane Doe met Shannon Sharpe at a gym in LA in early 2023 when she was 19 and Shannon Sharpe was in his 50s. Sharpe aggressively pursued her and she eventually gave him her number. But
wait, she was 19 years old? Unc. Why are you messing with these children? Unc? Let's continue.
Before the two of them even hang out, he apparently tries to get her to sign an NDA. She refuses to sign it, so he eventually stopped asking and invited her over. Jane Doe agrees to go over, and according to the complaint, the very first night was disturbing and unsettling. The suit says he opens the door and without saying a word just walks upstairs. She follows him, he goes into his bedroom, and then points at the bed. He goes to the bathroom and then comes out, cuts out the lights, and then lays in the bed. Jane Doe says she didn't know what to do, so she just lays in the bed with him, and then the two of them lay there for 10 minutes silently. And then after those 10 minutes, things started happening. The suit claims that at one point, Jane Doe realized that Shannon Sharpe was recording their encounter without her knowledge or her consent. And then the following day, Jane Doe comes back to Shannon Sharpe's house, but she gets there about 5 minutes after the time he told her to arrive. And so she says when she gets inside...
See, that was kind of the weird part in this equation. That was the weird part is, you had this situation where, Shannon Sharpe allegedly... points to the bed. She's like, I don't know what to do, but she lays in the bed anyway. Okay. I mean, okay. Maybe there's some like intimidation factor because Shannon Sharpe is, Shannon Sharpe, large individual, you know what I'm saying? Like football individual. And maybe you might have felt intimidated. And so you complied. And then things happened, blah, blah, blah. But then you came back. So like I don't understand these things. And then you came back. Why'd you come back though? Why'd you go back?
He begins yelling at her, accusing her of disrespecting him and wasting his time. He then allegedly grabs her by her neck and then begins engaging with her. But this time he apparently tells her that he's going to end her life. And so, according to Jane Doe, this was the kickoff to the almost 2-year relationship that the two of them had, filled with control, physical, emotional, and psychological abuse. She notes that he once yelled at her while there was a firearm in the room, and because she was scared, she began sharing her location with her friends. But when Shannon Sharpe saw her sharing her location, he allegedly grabbed her by the neck and told her that if she did that again, he would end her life. The lawsuit says that in 2024, Shannon Sharpe and Jane Doe both moved to Vegas, but it notes that Shannon Sharpe apparently likes to claim that Jane Doe followed him to Las Vegas, but she says that's a lie and she went to Las Vegas for her own reasons. Okay, girl. The suit says in September of 2024, when Shannon Sharpe did that infamous live stream, that's my Michelle, Jane Doe began to pull away from him because her name ain't Michelle, and she thought the two of them were in an exclusive relationship. But
why are you still dealing with this man though? This is what I'm saying. Like, there's clearly some signs. There's clearly some red flags, right? Allegedly, there's clearly some red flags. Why are you still dealing with this man? If this was somebody, I'm not trying to be like crazy. I'm not trying to be insensitive. I'm not trying to be misogynistic. But if this was somebody who, just working at Arby's, just putting the fries in the bag, would you still put up with this type of behavior? I don't think you would. I don't think you would. I don't. So it's like, why are you still choosing to deal with this individual? And this dude, he moved to Las Vegas. And now you said you had your own reasons for moving to Las Vegas. But I don't know. Like if you're like, I don't know. This is kind of weird. Things ain't adding up in my eyes. I don't know. Let's keep listening.
But clearly not. About a month later, in October of 2024, Jane Doe says that she was working out at the gym when Shannon Sharpe aggressively approached her. He comes over and tells her to sit down or he's going to end her life. Jane Doe's refusing to speak with him, and so he then allegedly forced her into his car, took her back to her apartment, and then without consent, engaged with her while she was crying and telling him to stop. The suit specifically says that Shannon Sharpe told her, quote, "I'm going to punish this. I'm going to make it so no man will want you again." A few months after this, in January of 2025, the lawsuit says that Shannon Sharpe told Jane Doe that he wanted to see her and that he had a combined Christmas and birthday gift to give to her, because he previously promised her one. So she allows him to come over, and when he did, the suit says that he undressed, and again, despite her screaming and resisting him, he engaged with her without her consent. And so she's suing him for assault and battery and emotional distress. And she's asking for $50 million. As of now, Shannon Sharpe has not responded to the lawsuit, and like always, these are allegations that have to be proven in court. It's also worth noting that this lawsuit references another Shannon Sharpe lawsuit that was apparently filed in New York last year and has similar claims, but I haven't read that lawsuit, so I can't speak to it. So we will see how this one plays out. Ciao. All right, make sure you're following me on TikTok.
Okay, that's part one. There's another development. So he made a statement. No way, you can't do that. You can't do that. Okay, this is what he said. And then I'm going to play another video because his attorney responded. Shannon Sharpe's attorney makes statement. Okay, wait. Hold on. I think she has a video about it. It's right here.
I'm not a lawyer, but Shannon Sharpe's lawyer made a statement regarding the lawsuit that was filed against him. And child, I wasn't going to make a video, but let's get into it. So the statement was actually posted on Shannon's social media pages. And the very first thing on the statement says, quote, "I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while we are engaging. And that was a text message sent to Shannon by the complainant on October 7th, 2023. It's worth noting that although the lawsuit was filed as Jane Doe, Shannon's attorney has taken it upon himself to release this woman's name. And per a few of the attorneys that I talked to, they tell me that as long as he doesn't put her name in a court filing, he won't face any repercussions for doing this. Okay, the next text in this statement says, quote, "I know you missed this big, juicy $25K for each cheek." You see, this is why I didn't want to make this video. Y'all finna get me banned. Later on in the statement, the attorney says that this lawsuit is a shakedown filled with lies and it will not succeed. He says it's an effort to basically get the complainant paid, and to set the record straight, they are releasing these text messages to show the nature of the relationship between Shannon and this complainant. There are a number of other text messages included, like this one which says, quote, "Only if you put that baby gravy in me, then I can do whatever I want to me." Baby gravy. And another which says, quote, "You better crave it because you're going to be stuck with it for life after you put a big black baby in me." Now, why the baby got to be big and black? This statement from his attorney ends saying that Mr. Sharpe categorically denies all allegations of coercion or misconduct. He stands firmly by the truth and is prepared to fight these claims vigorously in court. He looks forward to vindication and a judgment based on the facts and the law. All right, so that's the statement from the attorney. And like I said, it was posted on Shannon's social media pages, not in a legal filing. Once Shannon and his team actually respond to the lawsuit with an actual filing, I imagine we'll get some more info. And I imagine as time goes on, this gonna get messy.
Mind you, this is a 50-year-old man. This is a 50-year-old man, bro. Why you messing with these 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 years old? Why you messing with them for? You 50 years old. This is a 50-something-year-old man. I'm trying to figure out what the problem is here. I'm trying to figure it out. Because I see you be mentioning God, you be talking about the Bible, you be talking about this type of stuff here and there on your podcast and whatnot. I seen a clip of Shannon Sharpe. He was like preaching on First Take on ESPN. But it's like, dog, you living like this? Like, and listen. I get it. I understand. Like, you know, we all struggle. But bro, you putting yourself in these situations, and now you sitting here wondering why she, putting a lawsuit on you. Why are you in these situations in the first place? I don't understand. Like, I don't understand, bro. I don't understand, dog. I don't understand. Like, we live in a generation that is increasingly more intolerant to marriage, specifically if either party is successful, right? It's like, bro, you need to get married. You need to settle your butt down. Because who knows what's going to turn in? Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen, right? There may be a legitimate case here. There may not be. There's another case in New York. But the path that he's on, bro, that typically doesn't tend to end very well. At a certain point, you're going to get got. You know what I mean? So I don't understand what's going on with these people, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the people with the most amount of clout. These are the people with the biggest platforms. These are the people with the biggest influence, with the biggest voices in media. And it's like, behind closed doors, what are y'all really doing? That, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't. Hold on. There's another video real quick. I think it was TMZ, wasn't it? Let me play it. Hold on. Shannon Sharpe. There's a phone call that came out.
To my family, friends,
No, here we go.
supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly, on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is...
Here's my problem with this whole thing, though, bro. And this is what I say. Is like, you know, you may not be able to control. Well, here's the thing. You're not going to be able to control what people are going to do. You don't know what people's intentions are. You don't know what their really underlying motives actually are when you're dealing with people, right? You have no idea. You have no idea what it's going to turn into. You don't know. But what you can control is the situations that you choose to put yourself in. What you can control is the individuals that you choose to deal with in the first place. That's what you can control. It's called self-control. And, you know, it's just like, dog, it's just, it's severely lacking. The self-control is severely lacking. Severely lacking. Like, you're 50, you're 50 something years old. You don't need to be sliding no DMs of no OF models, nah, bro. We don't need to be doing that. We don't need to be doing that. What did you think was going to happen? How did you think this was going to play out? What, you know what I'm saying? You're messing with these Jezebels, and now you in some stuff. What did you think Jezebel was gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like,
sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
So he's suing for defamation.
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
what? What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
I don't know that mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm gonna choke the shit out of you when I see you.
I don't.
Okay. Does he have kids? Shannon Sharpe? Shannon Sharpe kids. Shannon Sharpe has 3 kids. According to People magazine. Shannon Sharpe. Okay. I mean, bro. I'm just thinking, like, she can't be, this girl that he's messing with can't be very much older than his daughter. It's just weird. Like y'all are, let's just keep it real. Y'all are kind of weird. You're kind of weird. Can we just keep it real? You're kind of weird. Like you're talking dirty to a girl that is what, around your daughter's age. It's just weird. And you could tell she's young on the phone. Like you could hear that she's young on the phone. Like it's not illegal because she's 18, but like it's weird. It is definitely weird. Anyway, what did you think was gonna happen when you put yourself in these situations? Maybe you shouldn't have went to the club in the first place. Maybe you shouldn't have went to the dispensary in the first place. Maybe you shouldn't have went to the liquor store in the first place. Maybe you shouldn't have went through Snapchat looking for the old thing in the first place. Maybe you shouldn't have been liking all them pics on Instagram and now your algorithm look like a freaking OF advertisement. Maybe you shouldn't have been doing that in the first place. What did you think was going to happen when you step into the arena with the enemy thinking that you can play ball on your own? You gonna lose every single time. You're gonna lose. Anyway, what do you think? Get in my comments, like this video. I'm out.